everybody out there, you're tuned in to 91.8 The Fan. You're in my corner, and I have a very special guest in the corner. Would you like to unveil your secret identity?
Hello, my name is Kayli Mills. I am a voice actress and singer, and I'm excited to be here.
Yay! We're excited to have you. It's great to get to talk to people who have more of a YouTube presence as well, because we're seeing. I don't want to say with the new generation because that makes me sound old and I don't like that. But we're seeing with a lot of voice actors that they're really embracing social media and getting more of a following on YouTube and stuff.
hmm Um, I actually I started on YouTube, and I feel like that's something that didn't happen even 10, definitely 20 years ago. So it's great to see.
Yeah, definitely. For the fans out there who might be a little bit unfamiliar, with your work, let's start at the beginning. Maybe diapers is a little bit too early, but we'll figure it out. How did you initially get interested in acting?
So I was really interested in singing originally. My mom was a professional singer. She sang with Bob Seger. And when I was in middle school, I got super into anime. Um, I watch Naruto on TV, eventually found Crunchyroll, and I really liked the music. So through music, I got into it. I started learning to sing in Japanese. I started doing English versions of songs, which I still do, and eventually that led to an online community of people who wanted to be voice actors, and I thought that it was really interesting. So I had started doing plays at school, and I was like, oh, it's like the same thing, but I can be in my anime, and that's super cool. So I got involved online, and for years I did online projects. Um, I didn't really do fan dubs because I didn't want to. There's a legal issue there, but I did it practice on my own there. Did some audio play kind of things, and just got to meet a lot of really cool people.
Did you so one thing that I did growing up, for example, is those Japanese RPGs that don't have any audio in them, and you pretend to be every single character.
Yes, yes, yes. That is awesome, awesome practice. I definitely did that when I played through, or even just muting stuff that already has voices.
Definitely. And so with when grow I, it's weird to say when growing up in the online world, but that's our generation. When you have all these resources to your disposal, did you find that you were able to pick up and learn a lot faster than say if you were reading out of a book or if you had to have the right connections or such and such?
I'd say for sure. Um, if you have a question online, voice actors especially, they're really nice people. So you can get somebody who knows what they're talking about to answer you within a day versus having to research it yourself and having to maybe somehow find the opportunity to talk to one of those people a workshop. So, if you're not in a big city or going to a convention where they're at, it would have been really difficult, but now you can just ask questions.
Yeah, definitely. So, what was your first role in anime? Like the first official one that's like your badge of honor.
My first, the first anime that I ever recorded for was the Astra Score, and I did some additional voices. I played a nun and a little boy and a little girl and some other things. And then my first name role was Miyu in Occultic 9.
And how was that experience, especially starting with additional voices where, as you said, you were a nun and a little boy, so like you had to do various different voices for that, you know?
Yeah. So I recorded those shows at Bang Zoom. They do an open audition at Anime Expo. And so I was one of the callbacks from there. So from my callback, they brought me in to record that. So I was super nervous because to me, other than it just feeling like a job, I was like, this is an audition. I need to do well here so that I'll get more opportunities. And people might think, oh, it's additional voices, it's easier. But really, you have to go in with no idea what you're going to do for characters. And then they just throw multiple characters at you, and you have to just quickly decide what you're going to do for them. So it was very fun experience, but I was very, very nervous.
Well, I imagine that, it's natural to be nervous the first times that you go into the booth, right? Because you're like, you have your cup of coffee and it's shaking in your hand, and they're like, okay, you got to get thrown out a window. Sure, what? Where
Yeah.
am I?
Yeah, it's like drinking, being like super nervous, and then they're like, "How are you?" And you're like, "Finger guns," but then you drop your coffee everywhere. That's what it felt like.
Well, did you have any mishaps in the studio? Maybe like smacking a mic or, or anything like that?
Thankfully, I've not smacked a mic yet, but I have like made really weird throat noises that I just don't know where it came from. Voice cracks abound. My stomach just deciding that I really want an entire pizza right then, and that ruins the entire take.
I think there's always time for pizza. I don't know what you're talking about.
I
But no,
agree, but my body did not. Not
that's fair. The sound engineer was like, no, no, not pizza, not yet.
no, not yet. Please no.
But yeah, no, I always think that's natural to see. I think as people are getting used to the booth, like I'm one of those people that talks with my hands, so I have a tendency to like accidentally smack things myself.
Yeah, I used to do that a lot in my own studio, and I still do sometimes because it's a smaller area. And the way my mic in my studio is set up is like it's just a straight up mic, so I'll like ram into my stand all the time. Thankfully, in studios, it's kind of like back, and then there's like an arm coming forward, so I don't do that as much, thankfully. And it's good because their equipment is much more expensive than mine, and they do not want to hurt it.
Well, talking about your home studio, I know we have a lot of listeners that are aspiring to be voice actors or to learn more about the industry. When it came to setting up your own home studio, what sort of resources did you look after to kind of get started?
Let's see. There's just a lot of good resources online. Voice Acting Alliance was one, and Voice Acting Club kind of took that space, in my opinion, and made it better. And I know that Kira, who runs it, and she's a voice actress too, has like a lot of information on that stuff. And it can be really expensive because a lot of like the bigger studios will be like, oh, like get acoustic foam and treat all this, but if you don't have thousands of dollars, like you have to make something else work. So what I did is I used a walk-in closet, and then I have some PVC pipe I made into like a smaller frame, and then I hang on hooks. I hang moving blankets around it to absorb sound, and it actually works really good. And it's a lot cheaper than buying like acoustic foam to cover everything.
Yeah, no, I've heard of the pipes and the moving blankets. I don't have moving blankets set up in my studio. I have a lot of I'm gonna blank on the name. Of course, I'm gonna blank on the name. They're the corner foams.
Oh
What?
yeah, yeah.
I forget what they're
Bass
called.
bass traps,
Thank
I
you.
believe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, awesome.
yeah. Those are
Um,
good. Yeah, those are good. I
yeah,
have some of those as well.
I've also heard of people even using egg cartons,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
which is insane to me because I'm like that's a lot of eggs, but you know.
And if you really don't have a budget at all yet, which most of us don't when we're starting out, um, just having lots of like clothes around, that helps. That could absorb a lot of sound.
Yeah,
Make a
definitely.
blanket fort. Record in a blanket fort. A lot of people do that. I know a lot of people in the professional industry that record their auditions in a blanket fort. It works.
I mean, some people have to do that while they're traveling. Like
Yeah,
they have to
yeah.
make their pillow fort, and the housekeeping thinks they're crazy for asking for 12 pillows, but work is work.
Yeah, you do what you have to.
Well, so for the fans out there that want to, hear more of your roles, what recently came out that you can tell them about?
Let's see. The three most recent anime roles would be Fiore and Fate Apocrypha, which is on Netflix. The whole series is now out on Netflix. 25 episodes. Kakegurui, I am Runa, who is like the little gremlin girl. She's really bratty. And I had a lot of fun on that show. I also spotted that show, which is like doing the time codes for ADR. So I was kind of into the show before I knew I was going to be in it, which was fun. And then Hunter x Hunter Phantom Rouge is out, and I play Retsu. Or I believe it is pronounced Rets, but they spelled it Retsu.
Well, doing the time coding, that must have been a new experience as well to kind of be behind the glass. I guess you could say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was really interested in a lot of aspects of production. I'm actually really interested in doing writing, which I'm kind of working on right now. But learning to time code is kind of like something you do before that to kind of understand timing and all of that. So moving to LA, like it's a really expensive city to live in. So I thought if I could get an extra job at that time in the industry, it'd be really helpful. So thankfully, I was brought on to do that, and it can be really tedious work. And if you make a mistake and it slows people down, like you hear about it. But it was a good experience, and I learned a lot about how timing works, and then how that goes into adaptation and making a good experience for the actors in the booth, because every piece of the pipeline is really important.
Yeah, definitely. For the fans that want to see too what you're doing on YouTube, it's actually funny. I was doing my research and I saw that you did. Gonna blank on it again because today is one of those days. Pirapara.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
You did a song cover of that, and I was like, oh, that's really funny. Because one of my friends is super into that, and so I've just been like blasted with that show. Like, hey, hey. So I was like, hey, I know this. But for the fans out there that want to, stalk you in a nice way on YouTube and see your song covers, where can they do that?
So my channel is Mew Kyoko, which is MEWKIYOKO, and I believe there will be a link to it later. Or if you just search up my name, Kayli Mills, it should come up. I do a lot of covers of Idol songs because I really, really, really love Idols. So you will find a lot of that there, though I'm kind of expanding things right now. I actually have an English version of the Kakegurui opening coming out next week on Saturday.
Oh, fantastic! That must
Yeah.
be that must be really fun to be so a part of the show and then to do something kind of as a fan too, you know?
Yeah, I started planning that before I knew I was cast in it, so it's like it's kind of a weird feeling, but it's
The
very
fates
exciting.
the fates aligned.
Yes.
Well, for the fans out there that want to keep up to date on anything else you're doing, what other social media can they follow you at?
I am pretty active on Twitter. So it's just Kayli Mills on Twitter. Facebook, I post things from time to time. It's a little more of like an organized thing. So you're like, oh, what are like the official things she's announced? You can just look at that versus all of the memes and stuff I'm reposting on Twitter. So other things might get lost. And then YouTube and my website also has like a updated list of credits. And if you have like questions to ask, you can do that through there as well.
I will say Twitter is where it's at.
Yes, I agree.
Facebook is so boring. I don't
Yeah.
want people to poke me or wave at me. I don't need that. But so if the fans actually want to, see you in real life, do you have any cons coming up? Any events that you'll be going to?
I don't have anything that I'm guesting at right now, but I will for sure be at Anime Expo, which is July, early July. Yeah, because that's my local con right now, which is strange.
And it gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yes, it definitely was LineCon last year.
I've actually, it's been a convention I've avoided for quite a few years. At this point, I'm just like, I'll send some of my staff instead because it's there's just so many people. Like
Yeah, I don't blame you.
it's a lot of people, but I hear that it's getting better. I hear that they're finally mailing out badges,
Nice.
which is kind of nice.
Yes.
But since we're nearing the end of this interview, I was wondering if you'd be willing to participate in a 91.8 The Fan tradition.
Oh.
Okay, so I like how you didn't agree. You're the first smart one in the last like 2 months. Because everyone was like, yeah, sure. And I'm like, oh, you didn't even know what it was. We basically ask if you'd be willing to do a radio bump for us. The trick of it, however, is that we do the takes live on air. And we do this whether you're a voice actor or not. We do this to all of our guests. We like to torture them. So basically, we would be willing to ask if you could say, hello, my name is, I do this. You can put whatever you want there. And you're tuned into 91.8 The Fan.
Mhm.
I can hear her typing. It's okay. That's the smarter way to do it.
Yes. I Yes.
So yeah, whenever you're ready, give it a shot.
Okay. My name is Kayli Mills. I'm a voice actress and singer, and your turn. Oh, I already messed up. Oh, you're tuned into 91.8 The Fan.
We can splice them
Yeah.
together. That's the wonder of the internet. We can splice them together.
I knew. I speak for a living.
I think I do too, but half of my questions come out as a jumbled mess. So that's the fun part of our jobs.
Agreed.
But yeah, thanks so much for joining us today. Before we let you go, do you have any words of wisdom you want to leave the fans with? Any dating advice or predictions for the end of the world? Anything fun like that?
Just this is going to be the most cliche advice, but like continue to do what you love, even if it seems like it's not getting anywhere at the time. Because if you love it, like I promise you will find a way. I am from a small town in the middle of nowhere in Michigan, and I just kept at it, and now I am so happy to be doing what I love, and I think you should keep doing that also. Also, there will be a super exciting announcement that I'll be making on the weekend that I believe is being announced at KawaiiCon in Hawaii. So stay tuned for that.
Ooh, well, we will keep our eyes peeled to your social media. And for any of the listeners that missed any of this interview, don't fret. You can find it on the website within the next few days. So keep your eyes peeled to 918thefan.com and your ears tuned to 91.8 The Fan, where we play everything you want and nothing you don't.